Hello, and welcome to Obscure Poets of History, everything you need to blag your way through poetry, with me, Ben Moore.
And me, Rick Saunders.
And this time, we're talking about John Donne.
Dun.
No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends or of thy own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. And therefore, never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
Ooh.
That was John Donne.
John Donne, back in the day.
In 1624.
Oh, that was just about the year you were born, wasn't it, Ben?
Which would put you back into the 16th century,
16th century,
Rick.
yes. I like the use of the word clod.
Clod, yeah, a bit harsh if you apply that to a person. If some clod is washed away, Europe is the less.
I think he was talking about a piece of land. Maybe,
yeah, I think so. A clod of soil,
yeah,
you know.
Maybe Essex.
But I thought it was interesting, you know, any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind. Obviously, this was written in 1624 and, you know, absolutely no relevance for anyone today, that line.
A few people could learn a few lessons from that, couldn't they?
Nonsense.
Nonsense.
That's old 17th century thinking.
Yes.
I am involved in mankind. No, certainly no world leaders stand to gain anything from a study of John Donne's meditations on
history.
Mankind. Yeah. What is there to learn from history?
Yeah, nothing.
It's a humanities degree.
It never comes round again, does it? Never. Let's got the political satire out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the poetry satire.
I thought it was worth noting, Rick, we were discussing earlier that you've got there two of the most famous quotations from John Donne that even if people don't know it's John Donne, they know it. No man is an island.
Yeah.
And ask not for whom the bell tolls.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know they were both John Donne.
No.
Till I read this. But not only are they both John Donne, but they're both in the same paragraph of one piece of prose that he wrote.
Amazing.
It's like nobody's ever read anything else.
Yeah, just skip the rest of his entire
They
works.
read that and they were like, that's banging.
There's a couple of good catchphrases in there. Let's use those. Yeah.
Like, this guy's a classic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
the fact that they're both almost in the same sentence.
I know, yeah. Yeah, that's just lazy phrase catching,
what
isn't it?
happened there?
I don't know.
But there you go.
Shakespeare had a few more, but it seemed to be spread around a few of his plays.
John Donne kind of
some poems and musings.
He had one good paragraph in him, and that was it.
And that was it. Yeah, out of his entire back catalogue.
The only decent thing we could find. So, John Donne.
Yeah. Should we start at the beginning?
We should probably start at the beginning.
In the book that I read, which
I thought you were about to say in the beginning.
No, in the book that I read, Penguin Classics, John Donne Selected Poems.
Right.
It says 1572, John Donne, born between 24th of January and the 19th of June.
At some point.
Some point. In between those two dates, he was born.
Nailed it.
How would they not have a more precise date of birth than that?
Well, so the thing is, people just weren't very meticulous about writing this stuff down, especially if you weren't, if you were royalty or aristocracy, then maybe you would.
Yeah.
But other than that, who cares?
The common man.
When you were born, as long as you roughly knew how old you were, there was very little that you had to be old enough. You could do what you want. There weren't all these, drinking ages and all that rubbish.
How could you apply for your driving license though if you didn't really know your own date of birth or your passport or anything? Oh.
You'd just go, I was probably born in that year. Sometimes they didn't know. Imagine applying for a job or something.
Yeah.
And they say, all right, date of birth. And you go, well, 1994, sometime between May and August.
Yeah, sometime between the 24th of May and the 19th
it was
of August.
It was in there somewhere. And they'd go, oh, nice, we'll just put you down for probably second half of the year.
And then in this chronology of Penguin Classics John Donne Selected Poems, that's the opening line.
Yeah.
Born between. And then a couple of years later, probably travels to the continent. Probably. With Henry Stanley Earl of Derby, probably.
Probably.
And then 4 years after that, probably travels abroad. I mean, what
Yeah.
you know, it's not the top class of journalism that I'm expecting.
Well, this is one of the interesting things
Penguin
about John
Classics.
Donne, isn't it? Is that he seems to have not cared at all about keeping a record of anything to do with his life, not even his poems.
No. Do you keep a diary?
I try to.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't bother. Yeah.
Well, and you know, the thing is, we know a lot about John Donne from his letters, and nobody writes letters these days. So if we were doing an episode on you,
Yeah.
which we wouldn't do,
Why not?
I mean, you're not. We're dealing with serious poets.
I'm not in a
Rick.
Penguin Classic series.
No, if
Willis
tell you
the
what,
poet.
if they do a Penguin Classic of you, we'll do an episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so what we have of John Donne, what we know about him, and even the poems that we have of him, we only have because other people kept his letters or wrote his poems down. We actually, I think there's only one poem in existence that we're aware of that is in his handwriting.
Wow.
Because everyone else would just make copies of stuff and they'd write it in their commonplace books. People would have like a scrapbook, but like a serious scrapbook.
Yeah.
And they'd note his poems down. So sometimes they didn't even know it was him.
Wow.
And so his life is pieced together from other people's recollections. And his life was pretty weird.
What was weird about it, Ben?
Well, when I was making notes on John Donne, noted that he was a man not necessarily of contradictions, but a man who he changed very dramatically in several ways, according to what we know about him. So, born into a Catholic family at a time when being Catholic is deeply inconvenient, and sees persecution, and his brother was arrested, died in prison because he'd hid a Catholic priest. All this stuff.
Newgate prison.
Yeah, I think it might have been Newgate.
Yeah.
Refuses to take an oath of the monarch's supremacy and all this stuff. And then something happens, and he ends up the dean of St. Paul's Cathedral, probably the most famous Anglican church in the world.
He had a conversion.
Yeah.
Like a loft conversion, but
But his soul.
Religious purposes.
And then his poetry goes from very spicy, saucy,
eroticism,
erotic, romantic poetry.
Love poems.
And he doesn't stop writing love poems or being cheeky. But again, we see this development from his focus on primarily women to, firstly, some slightly nicer poems about women, but also kind of philosophical and religious poetry later on.
Yeah.
So he has some very cheeky stuff early on, and then he has his divine sonnets.
Some might argue that's what religion does to you, Ben. Sucks all the marrow out of your life.
Obviously, we disagree on that point, Rick.
Obviously.
And I think John Donne would disagree with you on that point, because I think his life continued to be hilarious and phenomenal. But we also see, again, related to his attitude to women, his early poems suggest this very, misogynistic kind of use of women. And then he gets married.
Oh, yeah.
And his poem, something changes. His poems about his wife are much lovelier. And after she dies, as far as we know, there is never another woman in his life.
Really?
Because he's too heartbroken.
Or maybe he's just worn out from having like 12 kids or something.
12 kids, yeah. I think she was probably more worn out by the 12 kids.
And killed her in the end.
Yeah, quite literally. Without ever having a single moment of dramatic change, shifts very dramatically from the beginning of his life to the end of his life, but maintains, I think, this very eccentric, very excitable, joyful kind of approach. Also just really funny. Just some of the stuff he does is really funny. And he loves a good pun.
He loves a good pun. He loves a good epigram.
Well, what's an epigram?
Well,
Rick?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Yeah, because I asked you earlier.
I'll have to I'm totally unprepared.
Why don't you tell children at home what's an epigram?
I have no idea. It's like a short poem to somebody that I think you don't actually know them.
Why don't you give us a couple of epigrams?
I'll give you a couple of epigrams. I'll give you my favourite of his, which is titled "A Licentious Person." Thy sins and hairs may no man equal call, for as thy sins increase, thy hairs do fall.
Wow.
Yeah. So there you go. If you're going to
stop being a swine, or your hair will fall out.
If you're going to be licentious, prepare for boldness. That's basically what he's saying.
Which is strong considering his own behaviour.
Yeah.
Although actually, I did read that apparently there's a very strong theory that he might have been all talk, was never really that kind of
not a
promiscuous or a womanizer. That it might have been, for lack of a less controversial phrase, locker room talk.
Locker room talk.
But yeah.
Here's another one. Here's another epigram. A lame beggar. I am unable, yonder beggar cries, to stand or move. If he say true, he lies. It's quite profound, that one.
My goodness.
Yeah. Antiquary. I feel you're an antiquary.
Does it mean antiquary that,
I don't know.
It's kind of the part, ancient times?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
If in his study he hath so much care to hang all old strange things, let his wife beware. Yeah, so I think that's bordering on the early.
That's interesting.
The early done.
Beware.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Sexist, bit sexist, that one.
He collects old things, hangs them up in his office. His old wife better watch out. Oh, she's a bit old. Whoa. You imagine all the lads in the pub going, "Hey, Donny!
Donny, you cracked it there, Dunno.
You done it there, Dun."
So he's generally seen as an egotist, isn't he? Given to self-aware analysis, self-fashioning, self-advertisement.
Well, it depends. If you mean egotist, bigging himself up.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly. He's certainly quite introspective. He writes a lot about himself and his thoughts.
Bit cocky, would you say?
Maybe.
Yeah. Full of himself.
I don't know about full of himself. Full of bravado.
Joie de vivre, as the French might say.
There's a confidence there that might not always be entirely appropriate to his place in life. I mean, but then in these kind of mysterious early years, he comes from this Catholic family. They hide priests in their home. They're kind of like, whatever. His brother gets thrown in prison, but he did go off and fight the Spanish. For no particular reason. Yeah, well, he just kind of, I think we were at war with him at that point, and he was just like, yeah, why not?
Let's go.
Gets there, and apparently arrives just after a city has fallen and didn't really get to do much. So he turned around and came back. And at some point, he becomes Anglican. Some have suggested this was a crafty political move, but given his later life, I think something genuinely seems to happen to him that he goes, now this is not a knock at Catholics, but something happens and he goes, oh, actually, I think I'm in on this side. Whatever his reasons, it does kind of work in his favour because suddenly he is then safe for the elite to hang around with.
But do you think he did it so that he could marry Anne Moore?
No, because it happens before then. It would seem.
Okay.
I don't think he had her in mind, especially because that's an interesting. Yeah, what does happen with Anne Moore? He gets a job, doesn't he? Secretary. I had to write this down. Chief Secretary to the Lord Keeper of the Great Seal, Sir Thomas Egerton.
That's a snappy job title, isn't it? You'd want that on your CV. But
Chief Secretary to the Lord Keeper of the Great Seal. I might put that on my CV. They go, what's that? What happened there? Oh,
yeah, nothing really.
Just weekend job,
Just kept the seal.
Yeah.
With the great seal.
Secretary to the Lord
Stuck it in a jar.
Yeah.
That's all I had to do.
Yeah, it was all right. Wrote a couple of letters. But Sir Thomas Egerton has a niece who's living with him. So, John Donne ends up living with his employer, which feels a bit dubious. That feels, ethically. Can you be employer and landlord?
Maybe. You probably could in the 1600s.
Well, yeah, you probably
could. What you wanted.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Anne Moore. What happened?
Anne Moore. Any relation?
Not that I'm aware of. She's only spelt with one O. Mine's
one
two
O.
O's. Then again...
You're double O. You're like 007.
What happened? Tell me, Rick, what happened with Anne Moore?
Well, the first thing that he did was they kept their love affair secret because his dad wouldn't have liked it. Anti-papist.
Well, who's John Donne? He isn't anything.
Yeah.
He's nothing.
And in the upper echelons of society, you had to be somebody, didn't you, in those days?
Yeah.
Which I guess is still happens to this day. So they kept it all under wraps to conceal their love affair. And then what happened was rumours, not the Fleetwood Mac album,
not rumours.
But word of mouth reached Anne's father, and then they were separated, but only after they'd made a sort of clandestine marriage contract,
which came back to
bite him, didn't it?
Quite massively, and not just him,
her as well,
and a lawyer and an Anglican priest who'd been involved as well. All three of them thrown in prison.
Yeah, that's because marriages in the upper echelons were kind of arranged by parents and dignitaries and guardians, and they controlled the dowries and the lands and all of that stuff. Yeah. So if you married sort of secretly, you could be taken to court.
And he's thrown in prison. But he wrote a letter to his father-in-law, Sir George Moore, with the first of his hilarious and really inappropriately timed puns. He's writing to his father-in-law, begging forgiveness. Look, I know that I secretly married your daughter. Yeah,
but here's
despite
a few
the
jokes.
fact that I have no prospects.
Yeah.
And you had big plans for her. And then he writes, but it is irremediably done. But writes it D-O-double-N-E.
Oh.
And it's a pun because she is irremediably
done.
Now.
She's done as well. Oh.
She's Anne done.
They're all done for it.
But he puts a joke in this begging letter to her father saying, please let me out of prison. Please drop the charges and let me live with my wife, your daughter.
Yeah.
That takes guts.
That does. That's the sort of level of naughtiness that Sir Japes would have been very proud of.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
I think he was
Sir John Betch.
He was a
with
pre-runner of Japes.
The bow tie on the elastic. He'd have loved all that sort of thing. Yeah,
was it with poets and father-in-laws?
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway, it didn't help him, did it? The begging letter.
Well, not at first. No, took a little while.
Kicked him into touch.
But he did, bless him, he did write letters also on behalf of the vicar who'd done the ceremony and the lawyer who'd been involved, saying, look, it wasn't really their fault. You should probably let them out of prison.
Oh, that's very honourable.
Yeah. It was nice, wasn't it?
Humbling.
He was like, please do let me out.
Yeah.
But most of all, let them out. And they were let out. But his father-in-law did soften towards him.
Maybe he threatened him.
If his father-in-law had read any of his poems, it's unlikely, but he might not have been that impressed.
Or he could have read them and thought, this boy's
too good. He's too good for my daughter.
He's too good for poet. No, he's too good for prison. Let him out. Come on. Let him share his words.
It's like the IRA and Sir James again.
The IRA and Sir James again, yeah. Well, they have a lot in common, don't they?
I thought maybe we should read one of his early, slightly saucy poems, just to indicate where he's coming from.
Is this one sexist as well, or are we
not
too bad?
Not sexist, no.
No, okay,
but,
great.
Have you read The Flea?
I have read The Flea. Yeah.
The Flea. So this is a famous one of his. Very strange.
Metaphorical.
Poem. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is So you've got to imagine.
Get your metaphor hats on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Mark but this flea, and mark in this how little that which thou deniest me is. It sucked me first, and now sucks thee, and in this flea our two bloods mingled be. Thou know'st that this cannot be said a sin, nor shame, nor loss of maidenhead, yet this enjoys before it woo, and pampered swells with one blood made of two, and this, alas, is more than we would do. Oh, stay, 3 lives in one flea spare, where we, almost, nay more than married, are. This flea is you and I, and this our marriage bed and marriage temple is. Though parents grudge and you, we're met and cloistered in these living walls of jet. Though use make you apt to kill me, let not to that self-murder added be, and sacrilege 3 sins in killing 3. Cruel and sudden hast thou since purpled thy nail in blood of innocence. In what could this flea guilty be, except in that drop which it sucked from thee? Yet thou triumph'st and say'st that thou find'st not thyself nor me the weaker now. 'Tis true, then learn how false fears be. Just so much honour, when thou yield'st to me, will waste as this flea's death took life from thee.
Oof.
Now, reading that could be after he's married, but he's essentially saying, look, you might get pregnant, but this flea's already drunk from you, it's drunk from me, and our blood's mingled in it. And that's all right. Nobody's up in arms. Come on.
Let's crack on.
Let's crack on. What a romantic. So there you go. John Donne, the hopeless romantic, eventually is released from prison.
So where does all this prison and unrequited marriage, or not unrequited, but...
Well, not unrequited. They were married.
I can't think of the word.
Forbidden.
Forbidden.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a better word.
Yeah.
Where does that put him on the Phil Collins arc?
Well, this is interesting, isn't it? John Donne here. The interesting thing about John Donne is in his lifetime, he was known as a poet, but not as widely as now. I think we're certainly in the early success kind of. I think this is the bit where he starts clawing his way out of the mire. Takes a while, but I think we're into rising success here. He's on his way up, I think.
And do you think part of the problem was it because he never got published when he was alive? Do you think that was half the battle?
Well, so he never published a poetry collection.
Yeah.
I think his poetry was handed around sort of individuals, and people would make notes of it, and some of it was known, but it wasn't published. He was probably better known as a sort of political figure and religious figure in his life. But yes, we're in the early stage here. He also, another pun, supposedly writes to Anne a letter and includes the line, John Donne and done, undone.
Oh, nice. So here's an interesting fact about John Donne and myself that we have in common, right? What?
I'm just intrigued to see where this goes.
So in 1614...
You also got married.
He became Member of Parliament for Taunton.
Oh, well, yeah.
In Somerset. That's where I was. That's where I was
it?
born. Yeah, Taunton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you vote for him?
No, because I obviously was not alive at that time.
I also think nobody really voted for MPs at the time. It was all.
I don't know. I don't know how it worked. Do they vote for them now? I'm not sure they do. Do they just get in by some sort of dodgy Russian-led?
Well, okay. So I don't think anybody even thought they were voting for them at the time.
Yeah.
He was an MP a couple of times. I don't think he was any good at it.
Do you think he approved like the first plans for the M1 motorway or something like that? Back in the day.
He's one of those very minor backbenchers just quietly plugging away on, roadworks and clean energy.
The bins. Probably the bins would be.
I think that's when the strike started, wasn't it?
In 1614?
The early 1600s.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
That's
a little topical Birmingham bin strike joke for you there.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
very niche. And in between all of his political and religious manifestations, he was busy having babies.
Yeah, how many?
12. 12 kids.
Yeah. And it gets
crazy.
A bit complicated because he has 12.
Yeah.
2 of them are stillborn, I think.
Yeah.
3 of them died before they were 10. 7 lived to adulthood.
That's crazy. And I guess that's why they, in those days they had so many, because they lost so many.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also there was very little way to prevent them arriving, shall we say. And after the 12th child, Anne Moore also died. Do you know that she had 12 children in 16 years?
I know, it's like one a year,
16
almost.
Years, yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one, it killed her, which is pretty tragic.
And in the meantime, he's just busy, becoming Dean of St. Paul's Cathedral.
Well, I mean, there were
his way around.
there were a few steps before then.
Being a vicar of St. Dunstan's in the Wells.
Yeah, he starts.
He
starts vicaring,
living the dream.
Yeah, and it's interesting because if you
he starts vicaring.
He starts vicaring.
Is that the?
I don't know. Well, it is now.
Is that the term for it? Vicarian.
I hope
if
so.
you're going to have a career in
in vicaring. Well, a vicarage is where a vicar lives, so you
Yes.
can't call it vicarage because that's already a term.
Okay.
Vicaring. But no, yeah. So he does a few odd jobs, and then a lot of people think he was kind of forced into the church.
Right.
But according to his
What,
letters,
at gunpoint?
Well, it was kind of like the king goes, you need to be you got to be a vicar now, and he goes, oh no.
The king says that.
Oh no. Well,
How does he know? How does he know all these people?
Well, because he's moving in the right circles.
He's a socialite,
yeah,
isn't
he
he?
works his way up. He used to write letters in rhyme to people. Can you imagine that? You get a letter and you get, how's all your kids? And instead of writing back, oh yeah, another one died, he sends you a poem,
right,
in which he tells you everything that's happened.
Wow.
But anyway, he writes these letters to people, and it's clear that he's really keen to do some vicaring because he loves writing, he loves talking, he loves God, and he's like, get me in,
get me in,
get me in some vicaring.
That's like his CV, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love God.
Hobbies.
I'm in. Let me in.
Talking, writing, God. They go fantastic.
The thing that I found surprising about his vicaring career is that he's all over the place. He's here, he's there, he's vicaring left, right, and centre. And I thought, job for life. Well,
it depends. It depends where. So Anglican Church does have a habit of moving people around.
Habit.
Habit.
I see what you did there.
Woohoo. But also, essentially, this is not necessarily a good thing. But there were different churches had different levels of prestige. And he was too good.
Are you telling me there's a hierarchy in religion? I find that hard to believe, Ben. I find that hard to believe.
I'm telling you there's a hierarchy in some religious institutions, Rick. So he's shifted round, and everywhere he goes, people are going, this guy's pretty good, because he has this way of talking very profoundly, but also very understandably. People are coming along and going, hey.
Oh, I get it.
This guy's... and he's very keen on, look, sure, we got all this church business going on, but what does it mean? He's kind of going, what about you? And so you get this, every man's death diminishes me because I'm involved in mankind. He's going, it's the nitty gritty. He's going, come on.
He's there.
Yeah. He does get in trouble at one point.
Does he?
I didn't note down exactly what it was.
Is it shoplifting?
No, so he's doing a sermon.
Right.
And he makes a comment about, some comment about essentially choosing your wife carefully.
And
it is perceived as a slight on King Charles I's wife, who was a Roman Catholic.
That's not who you want to upset, really, is it?
And he very briefly has to go into hiding and send a load of letters going, please tell the king I didn't mean
it wasn't aimed at him.
No, please tell the king I wasn't talking about him. He's simultaneously an unhappy man but a joyful man, which is odd. It's odd to say, but
it's a contradiction in terms.
Well, it's complicated. So he's unhappy, has difficult relationship with some of his kids. His wife has died.
Yeah.
He's very often unwell, and yet he's convinced that there is great beauty in the world and there is great meaning in the world. And so a lot of his writing is this ecstatic kind of whoa. One day, the king himself writes to John Donne and says, "Right, you've got to pop round for dinner, mate."
Dinner party.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're not allowed to actually eat with the king.
Oh.
So he goes in and King's munching away.
Yeah.
And he basically says, "Look, when I'm done, you can have what's left over." So yeah, don't worry.
What's left over?
Yeah, you can have what's left over. Some of the stuff that's been prepared for me when I've eaten my fill. You can have some. And he goes, right, St. Paul's Cathedral. We need a new dean. You're doing it.
You're doing it.
And there's no, would you like to? You're in. You're doing it now.
I think he would have liked that, though.
Yeah, there's no evidence that he was unhappy. With
No.
King himself goes, do you want the most prestigious, most visible vicarhood?
The vicaring.
Yeah. Do you want to be the dean of St. Paul's Cathedral? Well, you don't say no to the king, do you?
You don't say no to the king.
Yeah.
And also, you've got your Phil Collins arc in the back of your mind as well,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, oh, hold on a second, this could be a career-changing
This is
move.
it. This is the hit single.
The hit single that's
the breakout album.
Yeah.
Straight to the top.
Straight to the top.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And when was that, roughly? Because this must be coming towards... this must be coming towards the end of days.
We're not far off the
Not
end
far
of
off.
days. Where
Couple of years in.
blimey.
1621, he becomes the dean of St Paul's Cathedral.
Okay, so that's 10 years before he dies.
Gets really ill though, and a couple of years later, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he's written his devotions upon emergent occasions.
Yes, which is where that
3 sermons,
No Man is an Island.
3 sermons upon special
from.
occasions. He's basically corner in the market for special occasion writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's the modern day Hallmark cards or Clinton cards.
You open a card and it's 50 pages long.
50 pages of recorded John Donne poetry.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Or, I mean, he'd be there with the epigram card.
That's true,
you know?
yeah, an epigram.
If you wanted to send an epigram card to somebody.
We haven't done a poem in a while. Do you want to read a John Donne poem?
No, I've read the one that I liked. You read it, Ben. You've got
I read the last one.
You've got a much better voice for the reading of poetry.
Oh, well, okay. Here's a nice love one. It's probably about Anne Moore. It's called The Sun Rising. Busy old fool, unruly sun, why dost thou thus through windows and through curtains call on us? Must to thy motions lovers' seasons run? Saucy, pedantic wretch, go chide late schoolboys and sour prentices. Go tell court huntsmen that the king will ride. Call country ants to harvest offices. Love all alike no season knows nor clime, nor hours, days, months, which are the rags of time. Thy beams so reverend and strong, why shouldst thou think I could eclipse and cloud them with a wink, but that I would not lose her sight so long, if her eyes have not blinded thine? Look, and tomorrow late tell me, whether both the injures of spice and mine be where thou left'st them, or lie here with me. Ask for those kings whom thou saw'st yesterday, and thou shalt hear, all here in one bed lay. She's all states, and all princes I, nothing else is. Princes do but play us, compared to this. All honours mimic, all wealth alchemy. Thou son art half as happy as we, in that the world's contracted thus. Thine age asks ease, and since thy duties be to warm the world, that's done in warming us. Shine here to us, and thou art everywhere. This bed thy centre is, these walls thy sphere.
Nice.
It's kind of a 17th century way of going. Would I swap you for the world? You are my world.
Hey, that's going to go down well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get lots of brownie points for that. And according to the Penguin Classics John Donne selected poems, there is no greater or more daring writer of love poems or religious lyrics in the English language. And I think that poem just sums that up.
That's
bold. There's a bold statement, but I think...
I'm not going to argue with the Penguin Classics.
Possibly true, yeah. So we're galloping towards the end of his life.
The end of his life.
Yeah.
We're nearly done.
Oh, I knew you were going to do that. Unbelievable. So yeah, he swaps a few more he does a bit more vicaring.
He does.
Swaps around a bit. 1630, becomes mortally ill, writes his will, and then in 1631 he dies. Now, here's another interesting fact about myself and John Donne.
You both died in the same year.
Ties us together. No, but he was buried at St Paul's Cathedral on my birthday.
Oh, so you were born the year he died?
No, not on the actual day of my birth.
Oh, right.
On the same date.
Nice.
3rd of April. That's
nice.
my birthday.
3rd of April. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
So there he is dead. And then they published his first
there
selection
he is
of
dead.
poems.
Yeah.
There he is dead. And then they're hot off the press with the first collection of poems, aren't they?
Can I tell you my favourite thing about
Go on then.
John Donne?
Yes.
So
is there going to be some more puns related?
No.
No. Okay.
So I'm not usually a statues guy. There is one statue I really like. It's a statue of John Donne. And before he died, obviously, but when he was dying, he was planning for what monument am I going to have?
Right.
And what's it going to communicate to people?
Yeah.
It's important. Your monument tells people something. And so he gets a sculptor in.
Yeah.
And he says, right, here's my vision. A burial urn. There's an urn at the bottom. And I'm going to be stood on top of it. And then as he's saying all this, he takes up his bedsheet and he wraps it round himself as though it's a burial shroud, like he's being wrapped in it. And he says, and I want to be standing on top looking like this. Right, but with his face out looking happy. He says, I want you to carve this. And the guy goes, well, why? And he goes, well, that's me. This is me rising again.
Wow.
This is my hope in the resurrection. I want you to carve me. I'm rising again. Yeah. The guy goes, all right, sure. He carves this statue. It gets put in St. Paul's Cathedral. But this is the old St. Paul's, right?
Okay.
Because we're in, 1631 he dies.
Okay.
We're just over 30 years off the Great Fire. Old St. Paul's burns down.
Yeah.
Completely destroyed.
Yeah.
And the floors of the main hall collapse and all the statues fall down into the crypt.
Blimey.
And most of them are just destroyed. But John's John, that was very familiar with me. John's statue. John Donne's statue. The only damage to it was that one of the handles fell off the urn. Oh. And so when they rebuilt the new St. Paul's Cathedral, rising out of the ashes comes John Donne's statue. And again, it's on display in St. Paul's Cathedral. I love it because on the bottom you can see scorch marks on the marble.
The burning.
From the Great Fire.
Amazing.
During the wars, St. Paul survives.
The bombing, yeah.
John Donne's statue survives. During the Second World War, John Donne's statue was taken down to the crypt, and the dean of St. Paul's Cathedral at the time, whose name I forget, but I've got a book he wrote about the Second World War, used to sleep next to the statue of John Donne because he said, he's coming out of this. Yeah, he's going to get through this. John Donne, the resurrections of John Donne are many. I'm going to sleep next to this statue in the crypt. Wow. And sure enough, everyone who worked in St. Paul survived, and John Donne's statue is still there.
That is a good story.
Isn't it phenomenal?
Yeah, that's a good story.
I love it. I love going there and just looking at it and being like, what a legend.
And I also like the fact that when he's gone in for his sculpting sitting sessions, that he's taken his Pokemon themed bedsheet with him, and that's represented nicely.
All the little Pikachus and Charmanders.
That's represented nicely in the carvings. So according to the Penguin Classics John Donne Selected Poems, it says, Donne would, I expect, be amused to learn that there is now a John Donne Society, a John Donne Journal, an annual John Donne Conference, and that his poetry is discussed in classrooms, conferences and journals around the world by teachers and scholars eager to secure their own academic patronage. Would you agree with that? Do you think John Donne would be amused? Do you think he'd be clutching at his side?
I think he'd probably be surprised.
Scenario.
I think he'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Given that he apparently made no attempt to record his poems.
I think he's transgressed. Is that the right word? No,
transgressed.
That's not the right word. He's gone beyond the Phil Collins arc, hasn't he?
Transcended.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
When you describe how the statue thing is working for people, and they have this total belief that he will, if I just go and sit by the Donne statue, then I'll be all right. I don't think many people are going to sit next to their Phil Collins record collection thinking, I'll be all right now.
Maybe 300 years later.
When the bombs land, Phil Collins will protect me.
Well, if you give it 300 years, and if there's another war and somehow Phil Collins' records all survive, people might start going, hold on. But you're right, he's probably gone further than Phil Collins has.
Above and beyond.
In that he's this icon, widely misunderstood. I think people don't really know what to do with him because he has these different eras, doesn't he? The kind of raunchy, womanizing, supposedly early years, through to the profound, philosophical kind of vicaring later on. And I think everybody kind of goes, they pick the John Donne they like the most.
The Donne version.
Yeah, they go, I like this one. I like this Donne. Yeah. And he's just quite hard to categorise, really.
Can't put him in a box.
No. Can't put Dunny in a box.
No. Now, for the listeners will know that we challenge each other to write a poem in the style of the poet that we're talking about. Using the 3-word random generator, we generate 3 words that we have to use in our poem, and then we have to write a poem in the style of John Donne.
What were the 3 words?
The 3 words were remedy, hook, and in, as in INN, INN,
Yeah.
as in public house. Yeah. Have you done a poem?
I have done a poem.
Well done.
I based it on the structure of the Rising Sun, Rising poem that we read earlier.
Nice.
Because I thought I like that structure. Here's some interesting structures. And I thought I wanted to play on a couple of things. So in tribute to that, it's called The Hidden Moon.
Is this about the moon on the water again? The pub? Is that where you got the in reference in? Oh,
no.
Okay. I would have enjoyed that.
But I thought it takes the viewpoint of an unrequited lover who is singing praises of a very beautiful woman, but also has a bit of a cheeky pun in it. Not in one line, but in the whole theme.
Okay, so that's what we have to be listening out for then.
You've got to see if you can interpret what the cheeky pun might be throughout.
I'll see if I can do that.
Okay, so it's called The Hidden Moon.
Is the pun in the title?
No.
No, that's okay then.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
Far hidden mountains of the moon, shine not on me, unless thy beams impart the remedy for my hopes turned to agonies so soon by one whose glow, alike to thine, she hides beneath a haughty shroud. Though love be all in all, little is mine, nor I all, insufficient for her pride. No words or tributes sway her distant hand, and I, unmooned, am darkened and unmanned. Once your touch on the water took my panting breath, so if to taste the pallid stream was death, I yet would have been wrecked upon your hook. But now it is a fading charm, next hers behind whose back I see you all outshone, a vision to disarm my hungry eyes that seek a mystery, your like in her, more beautiful and fine, if love's best courses I can yet divine. So feeble moon, withdraw thy knives, make clear the sky, for all who look on her with waking eyes must see her your usurper in their lives. And I would raise a better you before the blushing night gives way. Draw your fingers from out this inn, that through your absence she might rise for break of day. Pale moon, your glow to me is of no worth, till I glow by your sister here on earth. I'm quite pleased with that.
That's very good. I'm
pretty pleased because it's got the slightly, you kind of look at it and you go, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You have to work a little bit at a couple. I don't want to over-egg how clever I am. I'm not that clever.
I think the John Donne Society would appreciate that.
You think they'd like it?
I think they would.
I think they'd make me dean of the John Donne Society.
They might publish it in the John Donne Journal. Mine's just flippant and rubbish.
Well, can you guess?
No.
What the pun might be?
I've no idea. I was too busy thinking about my own poem.
All right. So it is about the word moon.
Oh. So it was in the title. I was
sort
right.
of, but the title isn't the whole pun.
Go on then. Fill us in.
What can it mean?
What can
to
it mean?
Moon someone?
Oh. Trousers down.
You flash your bum. Yeah. So I thought, here's a poem about a man who is this unrequited love he has for a magnificent woman.
Yeah.
Who won't show him a bum.
I didn't think,
because I thought I wanted to tap into his early misogyny. I thought once or twice there were a couple of lines I thought you'd get it.
I'm not a classicist.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
It's just that everything I put my hand to is brilliant. What have you gone for, Rick?
I wrote an epigram.
Just one?
Just one, yeah. I liked his epigram series. Good writing, funny, and
very witty, distilled
very
wit.
Witty, distilled wit, yeah. So I've gone for the distilled wit of a drunken sailor.
Of What Do We Do fame?
Yeah, of What Do We Do fame, yeah. Oh dear. Here we go. There be no remedy for this infernal hook, where in the heat of battle cutlass took my last good hand for writing poetry, so to the inn I venture in my misery. There you go.
So he's got his hand cut off.
Yeah, but he's lost his other hand as well in some sort of...
Okay.
drunken sailor
Can't write
pirate
poems.
related incident.
So he might as
So
well go
now
get drunk.
he's lost his last good hand for writing poetry, so he's off to the pub.
Wonderful.
Yeah, like all good poets should, I feel.
Yeah. If they have both their hands cut off.
Instead of just writing a miserable poem and putting it on Instagram. Are we done?
I think we're done.
Excellent. That was a
Right.
cracking show, wasn't it? I really enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that. Well, he's just a really fascinating guy.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Really interesting.
Really weird life. Well, thanks, Rick. And
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, anyone who's listening.
Yeah. See you soon.
See you next time. Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou think'st thou dost overthrow die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure, then from thee much more.